Let's freaking go. I got a belly full of tacos and a lot of joy that we are actually going to see our dear beloved LSU Tigers in roughly 48 hours from now. I am feeling great about life. I actually do like the spring games simply because we all need a little LSU football in our lives. And more importantly, if you are a super diehard LSU football fan, you know all about the spring game and what it could potentially tell you about some of the backups that LSU may have playing for them this next season. So obviously comment down below. I'm actually curious who all is actually going to the spring game. Let me know. And then, of course, the big spring game question, who is actually going to take those first team reps at quarterback? We say hi to Marcus. We say hi to Danny Girl. We say hi to Blanche. We say hi to Mick. We say hi to Tyler. We say hi to Michael. Welcome in, everyone. So, as always, we are presented during the spring by our friends at Pressy Collection and PressyCollection.com. Always a good time hanging out with Pressy Collection, PressyCollection.com. Make sure you check it out, baby. Diamond pendants, rings, engagement rings, necklaces, anything you want, they got at PressyCollection.com. And they do have a diamond price match guarantee. So if you're looking at a diamond at another jeweler, Anthony Starr Pressy can guarantee that he'll get you an even better diamond at a very similar, if not lower price. Check it out. PressyCollection.com. So this is via Shea Dixon right here, the actual format of the spring game released by Brian Kelly. So it'll be a 15-minute quarter, so a normal college football game in terms of length, other than the fact that the second half will be a running clock. Scoring system, obviously, for those that don't know, it is not going to be separated by purple and white like how it normally is. It will be separated. One team will be the offense, the other team will be the defense. So just like how they actually normally practice, and the defense will actually have a scoring system for themselves. 3 points for a turnover, 3 points for a 3 and out, 2 points for a color zone field goal, 2 points for a third or fourth down stop, 1 point for a tackle for loss, or a normal scoring for interception, fumble return for a touchdown or safety. And the offense will be scored as a normal game. So if you're the offense, you have to feel you have to be in a difficult spot right here, because all the defense has to do is make a few plays and they score. So that should be interesting. I know we prefer there to be offense, defense, but if you are to do that, that means that there's going to be a buttload of walk-ons having to be split up between the two rosters. And I don't know if you guys would prefer a spring game littered with walk-ons, because that's essentially what practice has been. So as far as the spring game is concerned, yes, you don't want anyone getting hurt, but at the same time, you do want players to actually play. And one of the biggest names on the team, John Emery, will actually play for the spring game, according to Brian Kelly's press conference from earlier today. So should be very interesting. He also said that the quarterbacks will get an equal number of reps. So it should be very fascinating. We say hi to Urban Sombrero. Good to see you in here. Danny, I do think they're going to bring people to the ground for the spring game, and they should, just so the players have some reps doing that. I know there would be some of you that say, well, our depth is our depth. We don't want to hurt our depth because we are very thin as it is right now with a bunch of new players learning a bunch of new systems. But we'll see. So, yeah, we're going to do as many film studies as we possibly can. What it looks like for us is that we will, of course, do a live stream after the spring game. And, of course, we'll do some film studies over the next few days after. Now, it is going to be interesting because it should be a busy weekend for yours truly, because a week from now, a week from Monday, I am going to England for the first time, which is pretty crazy. I'm not loving what my bank account looks like now, but it is a bucket list trip for Haley and I. We've been wanting to go for a long time, and we are very excited to get to do that. And it should be a lot of fun, but that shouldn't change. I'm going to do some Joe Burrow content. I'm going to do some Brian Kelly content that'll be recorded and ready to go. And for that week, we are still going to try and do some live streams from England. Now, it might not be at the normal time, so just be on the lookout for that. Now, next topic. Before we get to the next topic, I do have something pretty crazy. So, if you're new to PHL, what I'm about to say is not going to be new to you, okay? But if you've been with me for well over a year, and a lot of you have, right? A lot of you have been with me for quite some time. I want to show you this. It has been 1 year to the day since Boog left us. And I know it's a very sad moment. I'm not trying to bring anyone down, but you guys know Boog was such a big piece of what we did on this channel. She will always be a big piece for what we do on this channel. And I know a lot of you were distraught. I still have all the messages of you guys just being so sad that Boog left us. So it's crazy how time flies. It feels like it was just yesterday. I was bawling out crying on this live stream. And we had like a dog therapy session. It was so freaking nuts. So, and I know, once again, it is sad. It's so sad. I've handled it pretty well. So one way to make me feel better is if you look at the bottom scroll, there's a way you can get booger bands. I'm wearing a sweater. Why would I wear a sweater the night that, we're doing booger bands? You can get your own booger band right here. So every t-shirt purchase now comes with a Boog band while supplies last. But if you just want booger bands, they are a little bit more affordable than shirts. And once again, you get a lot of really cool LSU rare cards. And here's what we're going to do tonight. I actually have a very special one for you diehards right here. Next person that gets a booger band gets a graded 10 Jalen Mills rookie card. You know you want it. It's his autograph in his LSU uniform. So the next person that gets a t-shirt, all you got to do is follow the bottom scroll. You're getting that plus a bunch of other LSU swag. So there you go. What's up, Cliff? It was a sad day, Tony. It really was. I know Greg and Chris and Urban Cabrera were big Boog fans. So what's good, Mark J? Good to see you. Why are there only 6 likes? Well, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe someone can confirm this. I think LSU actually playing a baseball game tonight. So normally if you compete with baseball, it's going to be tough. Also, just looking at my analytics, Thursday nights are tougher than Tuesday nights. I guess it's just because I've been doing Tuesday night live streams for a longer period of time. Now, I did get confirmation for a guest next week for the NFL draft. I'm really excited about that. And I'm not going to reveal it until next week. He did confirm to come on, and he actually used to work at LSU. It's really cool stuff. So be on the lookout for that. What's up, Cliff? Good to see you. The president of PHL. Oh, that's so cool, Danny. Send me some recommendations, Danny, please. But yeah, the floor is open as always. Venmo, Cash App, Super Chat, always a great way to get your question to the front. And what's really interesting is that there's so much to talk about when it comes to this LSU spring game. The first thing for me is I do feel there are some things you could take away from the spring game. There's also always one player that balls out during the spring game, and well, he doesn't actually turn out to be that player during the year. I'll never forget when Richard Murphy looked like Billy Cannon during a spring game. And Richard Murphy was a fine player, very injury-riddled career, but like for real, he looked like the second coming during his spring game. And then, of course, obviously the most famous recent example of this was John Trey Kirkland. Last year, over 200 yards, 16 catches. He was so good they had him playing on both teams. It was pretty interesting. So, for me, I'm obviously looking forward to what spring game star is going to show out and not actually be that player going into next year. So there you go. I don't know if I have any potential candidates, any potential breakout candidates. There are some guys buried on the depth chart that I feel it could be moving up after the spring game. I did a thread on this on our community page. I'll pull it up here in just a second. I'm a believer in Kobe Fields. I don't know what it is about him. He's magnetic. This is a guy from Rummel, okay? We all know Rummel. Every Rummel player that has ever existed has overachieved in college. So he has that going for him. He doesn't really play at all at South Carolina and works his way into an LSU scholarship offer via the transfer portal. He's an amazing athlete. Brian Polian mentioned him in the press conference as a key special teamer. So really good athlete, really good special teamer, good head on his shoulders. This is a guy that is ready to put it on the line for LSU. And this is one of those situations where he really wants to be here. So I'm a Kobe Fields believer, and I think he's going to have a big spring game. Let's go, Cliff. I appreciate it. There you go. Who's going to do the $9.99 match, baby? You got to love it. What's up, George? So, Cliff, you get to pick the next topic. We'll go straight to it. Obviously, it's also a huge recruiting weekend. And, just right off the jump here, the biggest story is Dante Moore, right? 5-star quarterback. LSU doesn't have a quarterback committed. There was a lot of quarterbacks that they were offering that were elite quarterbacks that have committed. The Nico kid goes to Tennessee. LSU really wasn't in the running. But I do know that they really like the Christopher Vizina guy out of Alabama who committed to Clemson. Here's the thing about 2023 quarterbacks. Quarterbacks commit quicker. They just do. And at some point, you would like LSU to get one of these elite guys unless you're a Ricky Collins believer. If you're a Ricky Collins believer, none of this matters. You don't want any of the elite guys to go. So it's very interesting, right? I like Ricky Collins a lot. I really do. Just so athletic. This guy's killing it at these Elite 11 camps. I just love him. I just do. I'm a Ricky Collins believer. But what do I know? What do I know? Maybe LSU's back in the running for Eli Holstein, and we don't know it. That's not true, but maybe. You never know. Vet, good to see you. Go to Michael here. When I looked at Kobe Fields High School film in his size, I got Isaiah Simmons vibes. He's athletic. He's not that athletic. Not many people are. I'll say this. Harold Perkins is Isaiah Simmons athletic. Kobe Fields is still an amazing athlete. He's still a plus athlete. I just like him a lot. I don't know what it is. It might just be a gut feeling. It could just be that I'm cheering for Louisiana 3 stars, which I always do. But we'll see. I'm a believer. I'm a believer. Now, where exactly does he fit in? I don't know. Let me ask you this. There's a player who never gets mentioned on this channel, okay? Never gets mentioned. Never, ever, ever gets mentioned. I hear about Mike Jones all the time. And you guys know I'm going to support Mike Jones. He supports my guy Blake. Got to shout out my guy Blake. Well, I'm not going to say, but he had something really cool happen to him today. So I always root for him. And it's bigger than LSU football. So shout out to you. And what's even crazier is, he has Mike Jones on a show. So I'm always a guy that cheers for Mike Jones. And what's funny is I've interacted with Mike Jones before because I do radio in South Carolina, and there was a huge Mike Jones joke that I did. And it was cool. It's hard not to root for Mike Jones. He's the most affable, best interview that LSU's had in a long time. And LSU's had a lot of very interesting interview athletes over the years. So I'm always going to cheer for Mike Jones. However, we never talk about Greg Penn on this channel. We never do. We never, ever, ever do. I've not talked about him on any live stream. And all he's done, all Greg Penn has done, is start most of every drill that you see, start running with the ones on every pursuit drill. We never talk about him. We never talk about Greg Penn. I think some of it is, well, he's not like this explosive, mind-blowing athlete. He looks like a traditional linebacker. He's also not from Louisiana. I do think that is some of it as well. Also, defensive players always get a little bit more oomph when they have an interesting name, right? Greg Penn it's Greg Penn. We never talk about him. And all this guy has done is move up the depth chart ahead of guys that have started, right? Micah Baskerville, Jared Small was going to start last year. It's very interesting. I love it. I freaking love it. Let's go to Cliff's question here. If you guys want to talk more about Greg Penn, feel free to super chat. I just found that interesting. I was just sitting to myself. I was like, and what's interesting is I talked to Blake privately. I talked to, had a good conversation today with a player on the team. And, I at times I get good intel, right? But one player, and like all the phone calls, all the research that I do on this channel, Greg Penn never crosses my mind. And I'm like, you know what? This guy from a completely different time zone, completely different culture, is just showing out. And he played last year in very difficult circumstances as a true freshman in a scheme that wasn't working. Freaking love it. Freaking love it. I like guys that just go about their business. I kind of want Greg Penn to be made available to the media. Or if Greg Penn, if you're watching this, hop on the channel. We'll get an NIL deal going. We'll do something. I feel like his voice needs to be amplified. We never talk about him. Oh, look at this. So, Cliff, we'll get to your question in just a second. Round of applause. Jared and Cliff, y'all have to admit. They're up there when it comes to the PHL hierarchy. Round of applause for Jared. Give him some clap emojis. Show Jared some love. He is a member of the Granddaddy Club. And Cliff, we'll get back to your super chat. But Cliff, I know you're excited about Jared. Let's see. Greg told me to check my phone. And I don't have anything, Greg. Round of applause. Here we go. Go to Doc Knock here. What's up, everyone? I hope everyone's well. Rough day for me. Had CT scan results reading, and it wasn't what we're looking for. Doc, I'm sorry to hear that. So here's what we're going to do. You guys know Doc is always commenting, always supporting. So, Doc, I have got some booger bands heading your way. I don't believe you're a member of the Booger Band Club. So, I'm sending them to you. Doc, I think you know my email address by now, powerhourlsu@gmail.com. Feel free to shoot me an email, Doc. I'm going to send you some care package stuff. I honestly don't know a whole lot about your health situation, but there you go. All right, Greg, I finally see it. I don't know why my Cash App wasn't going. Uh, so there you go. Greg, you get to pick the next topic after Cliff. There you go. Mick and Doc are actually pretty close. They're always in here. So Doc, hit me up with the email, man, and I'll take care of you, okay? Whatever's going on, you need some booger bands. You might already be a member of the booger band club. I don't know. But I got you. Boog would want you to have it. Hit me up, Doc. I want to chat with you. Let's go to Cliff. So everyone, I know there's a lot of people that do believe. Pray for our dear friend Doc. So let's go to Cliff. I don't believe Brennan or John Emery could stay healthy all year. Jayden Daniels and Noah Cain will be leaders in passing and rushing. Agree or disagree? Let's start with the first thing. Cliff, I have to say, I would not bet on both of them staying healthy all year. At the very least, more than likely, one of them is going to get banged up. The more likely would be John Emery because he does play running back. And look, just think of any LSU running back. Every single one has gotten hurt. Every single one. Nobody is immune to it, right? You're going to get banged up. So Emery's already been banged up just in spring. So the likelihood of him getting banged up at some point is high. And something else, even if you do believe John Emery is going to break out this year, well, he's never carried the full load. Okay. So the first thing you could look at it like, all right, that's a good thing because he's going to be fresher. But the bad thing is he has been very hurt during his career, very unavailable during his career. And, it kind of stinks, right? So as far as MYLES Brennan's health, that's a total crapshoot as well. I do think LSU's blocking, ironically, and pass protection will be a little bit better than what it was in 2020 when it was atrocious. And MYLES did have decent protection when he played, but there were also some times when he played where everything just broke down, right? We win that Mississippi State game with Chase and Hines plays just a little bit better. So yeah, protection is so key. Jayden Daniels and Noah Cain will be leaders in passing and rushing. Agree or disagree? Okay. The second, let's start with Noah Cain here, Cliff. Let's see this. Type Y for yes, type N for no. Do you believe Noah Cain will be the leading rusher for LSU? Type Y for yes, type N for no. MYLES Brennan won this poll right here. Dang, nobody. Dang, Cliff. It's consensus. Consensus. Huh? Yes. Dwayne obviously is not a Daniels believer. Will show this Saturday that he's not a QB in the SEC with his legs. Won't get past the edge rushers. Yeah, and then, well, nobody's getting around Alabama's edge rushers this year. But yeah, I can see skepticism, but I do think Jayden has thrown the football fine during spring. Now, is he Peyton Manning lighting it up out there? No. But I will say this about Jayden Daniels. Unlike the other three quarterbacks, so once again, all those other three quarterbacks are new. I mean, the guy just moved to Baton Rouge. So, I think he's passed fine up to this point. But obviously, that's not his best suit. It's his running ability. So let me give you my what's up, Ethan? I haven't seen you in a minute. Good to see you. Ethan's got that Boca background. That's sunrise. What's up, Ray? Ray's in the hizzy. Let's go to Greg's super chat here. Thank you so much, Greg. I really appreciate it. Do you think we could use Perkins like Will Anderson? So, while I am in England, I am actually dropping a big BJ Ojolari film study. So, as you guys know, I'm a big BJ Ojolari fan. And, well, first, let me do this, Greg. I'm going to finish my thought here on Noah Cain. All right. So, Jayden Daniels, we'll see in the spring game. We're going to be talking about Jayden Daniels all Saturday. The biggest story is going to be Jayden and Myles. So I don't want to overload in Jayden Daniels chatter. I will talk some about Noah Cain just a little bit. So for those that are brand new to the channel, you might not know this already. For those that have been with me for a little bit and watch all the videos, and I do recommend, I'm not just saying this just to overload you with PHL stuff, but watch every video. As you guys know, I don't waste your time. I don't just fluff up a video just to get it out there. I try my best to make every video worthwhile. And I really feel like the Noah Cain film study is very important to watch because, yes, Noah Cain does have a cool name. Noah Cain is from Baton Rouge. He is one of us. He is getting this opportunity. The only reason he didn't come to LSU at first is because TDP and Emory were in that class. So Noah Cain is now back home. Noah Cain has had a bunch of crunch time touchdowns. Noah Cain has caught the football out of the backfield. And for some reason, he's really good at this. Every time he catches a football out of the backfield, he always makes somebody miss. It's really uncanny stuff. But the truth is he's not a home run hitter. What Noah Cain is what Corey Kiner is as well. And that's that. Like, they're very similar backs. Not a home run hitter, not an unbelievable speedster. And Noah Cain has had a severe injury in his past, right? So before the injury, home run hitting was not his big thing. Then he had a severe injury, and it's still not his thing. So he had 2 rushes last year of 15 yards or more. And that's just not his game. He's a good short yardage back. And something else that I really like about Noah Cain is in crunch time of big games, you can trust him in those moments. He has 3 game-winning touchdowns against really, really good football teams. 2 of those were on the road. One on the road at Iowa, one on the road at Wisconsin, really difficult places to play. And one thing John Emory has not done in his career is have a crunch time moment that wants a game in a close spot. It's a different thing. It's a completely different thing. We had 2 of the best crunch time running backs you'll see, Jeremy Hill and Justin Vincent, on this channel. And, it's different when the pressure's on you. Like, when you're up by 1,000 points, it's not going through your head every second. Goodness, I don't want to fumble. Goodness, I got to make sure I got to make the right cut. So, out of anything we're missing next year with TDP, it's all those crunch time plays he made for us, even as a true freshman. So it's crazy. Let's go to Greg. Do we use Perkins like Will Anderson? So let's start with this, Greg. What's up, Mason? Good to see you. We'll talk about chemistry with wide receivers. I know a few of you had talking about my Jayden Daniels comment a minute ago. Let me post this really quickly. Sometimes. Thank you, Blanche. Also, something else before I get into this Will Anderson thing. I'm really sorry, Greg. Thank you so much, Blanche, for the super chat. Did you see that Texas A&M was ranked number 5 in the ESPN poll? We'll get into Jimbo's play calling in just a second. Now, as far as Will Anderson is concerned, Harold Perkins is a different kind of player. Will Anderson has insane power. Will Anderson is a very refined pass rusher. He put in the work right when he got to Alabama. And you've seen what he's done. He's had the best start of really any pass rusher since Clowney in his first 2 years in the SEC. So as far as Perkins is concerned, if he comes in and takes the coaching, he's going to be really good right off the bat. The issue, though, is Will Anderson knew which position he was going to play, Greg. And Greg, let me know if you're still watching. He knows what position he's going to play. Okay. Will Anderson knew that he was going to be an edge outside linebacker type. Harold Perkins, we honestly don't know what his best position is. I don't think there's a single person that could answer that truthfully right now. Let me just ask this question about Harold Perkins generally. Type O for offense, type D for defense. Which side of the football do you feel is better for Harold Perkins? Because he is one of the better running backs you'll ever see. Like, let me put it this way. You guys know I like Corey Kiner coming out. I could not tell a difference between Harold Perkins' high school running back tape and Corey Kiner. It was that good. And something else I really liked about Harold Perkins is he played his best versus really good teams. Like, he didn't just put up huge numbers. He put up huge numbers in playoff games running the football, and they knew that he was getting the football. So yeah, I would guess defense because, he's just penciled in as a defensive player. And I hope that's true. I hope it's one of these Devin White situations where, he was so good on offense and defense. Rob's pretty sharp. He says, "Oh." Mick says, "Oh." A lot of you said D. What's up, Nick Nelson? Good to see you, baby. But yeah, I think so, though, Greg. I think that's where they're going to play him. I think that, if you make him an off-ball linebacker, it is a little bit more complicated, right? Because he didn't play. Number one, he didn't play a whole lot of defense in high school. He only had 35 tackles last year. So he was mostly used on offense. So it's kind of like the Sage Ryan thing, where Sage Ryan, in high school, his number one job was scoring points, right? Not everybody has the luxury of getting to play defense. So take Jacoby Matthews, for instance. He got to focus a little bit more on defense because Ponchatoula's offense was really good, even though Jacoby was arguably their best offensive player. So not everyone gets that luxury. So there's going to be a little bit of a learning curve with Harold Perkins, but you're going to see a Marcel Brooks situation where he is going to be playing on 3rd and long and 4th and long. Another reason why I think Harold Perkins is going to play a lot is the quarterbacks in the SEC are very mobile. Okay. So remember this. You go look at the SEC schedule. So in 2020, LSU in 8 out of their 10 games played pure pocket statue quarterbacks. But then in 2019, in the 9 Power 5 games that we played, including Kansas State, 9 out of the 10 quarterbacks we faced were dual threat quarterbacks. A lot of those quarterbacks returned. And the only one that wasn't a dual threat quarterback last year, Will Rogers, got us on a few runs as well. We had trouble bringing down some of these athletic quarterbacks in the SEC. So, Greg, to go even further on your point, Harold Perkins is one of the few guys on our team that can run down every quarterback in this conference. He is a better athlete than every single quarterback he is going to face. He's going to be faster than every single quarterback he's going to face. Can't really say that about a lot of the defensive players on our team. And we have a lot of good athletes. It's just next year, Anthony Richardson for Florida is a tank. KJ Jefferson has dual threat ability. We know about Bryce Young, right? There's a lot of really good athletes. Hendon Hooker, we play him this year with Tennessee. He's a dual threat quarterback. The one thing we know about Harold Perkins is that you can't run away from this guy. He is going to be able to run and bring down whoever. And a lot of you remember last year, even when we were able to get some penetration and some rush, we weren't able to bring down the other team's quarterback. So sometimes it's just a pure athlete thing with Harold. Run and chase the guy down and bring him down. Sometimes it's just that simple. So yeah. Let's go to Blanche's super chat. Thank you so much, Greg. You know I love talking about Harold Perkins. I'm so excited. It's crazy, right? It is fun. I know that there's a lot of you. One last thing on Harold. I know that there's a lot of you that feel some type of way after, the Eric Gilbert thing has happened, and now with the Elias Ricks thing, where 5 stars that are from Louisiana can bolt and go play, and even if you're from Louisiana, you could do it. It's just less likely. 5 stars can, or just anyone now, you could just go anywhere and play. Well, that's the risk you run getting a 5-star, right? And Harold Perkins is definitely worth that risk, even though he has leverage, right? Because he knows that Kirby Smart and Jimbo Fisher would take him in a heartbeat. Let's go to Blanche here. Did you see that Texas A&M was ranked number 5 in the latest ESPN poll? I just don't believe in Fisher's play calling. Thoughts? I love this super chat. This is one of the few things I'm really passionate about is how bad Jimbo's play calling is on the road, right? And we've touched on this in a few other live streams. And this is also just going to be a shameless self-promotion here really quickly. I am starting an SEC channel. It'll be dropped in about a month. And it's going to be general SEC because I get these questions a lot about other SEC teams. What do I think about Hendon Hooker? What do I think about Will Anderson? What do I think about Anthony Richardson? And so on and so on. All these other great SEC stars in this really fun league. I'm going to start that to where, I can answer as many of these questions I possibly can. Jimbo's play calling is brutal. I think he's behind the times. And Blanche, to go even one step further, one thing I hate about Jimbo Fisher, and I hope we don't fall into this trap ourselves, I like 4th down aggressiveness. I do, okay? I freaking do. I want my coaches to go all out on 4th down. Now, sometimes you can be a little irrational, such as Lane Kiffin, right? But even then, Lane is more often than not right about that. Coaches punt way too much. They do. And ironically, Ed Orgeron punted way too much, but he also made some egregious decisions to go for it on 4th down, such as the 4th and goal from the 9 with the struggling Max Johnson down 6 in the 4th quarter. I think you do kick the field goal in that situation, but still, to each their own. Ed Orgeron was too conservative on 4th down. Jimbo went for it on 4th down last in all of college football. He only went for it on fourth down, I believe, 10 times. 10 times. Jimbo, get out a calculator. Get out an abacus. Do something. Get an analytics guy to tell you need to go for it more. Actually, I hope you don't, because it helps us win football games because you're conservative. Arvis, it depends on the deal, and it's good to see you again, man. Oh, God. What's up, Carrie? Good to see you. Here's the thing about the Saban retirement question. I do get this one a lot. When is Saban going to retire? Big Al, what's good? He's got a Tyrann Mathieu question. You know, I could talk about Badger all night. Carrie, I'm not going to spend too much time on the Saban retirement thing because I was in college when the Tim Duncan question was brought up every year. When's Tim Duncan going to retire? It was every year. And I don't know why it was always centered around Tim Duncan. Like, it was always centered around Duncan. Is he going to retire? I guess because he was so quiet and mysterious. When's Tim Duncan going to retire? We're tired of the Spurs winning. I'm not a Spurs fan. I could care less about him. But it just got old. And for me, I'm not – I'm Saban is Saban, right? I'm not going to fantasize about the day that he retires. Now, would it be good for us? Yeah. I mean, he's the best to ever do it. But yeah, I'm not going to spend too much time on when it's saying I'm going to retire. Name, image, and likeness has been such heavy discourse. It just depends on the deal, right? It just depends on the deal. I'm going to make a bold opinion, though. All right. Jacoby Matthews will play for LSU next year. It's just a gut. It's just a gut. And I got a big one. I think Jacoby Matthews. I don't care whatever the deal or if there is one at A&M. I think he's a Tiger at some point. That's pure speculation. I know the Aggies are going to find a way into my comment section. It's perfectly fine. Jacoby Matthews will be an LSU Tiger at some point. One thing that did kind of piss me off, though, is I did catch some of the A&M spring game, and I was and a lot of you sent me the link. Hey, Carter, you see Max Johnson balling out? I go to watch, and he had a few good runs when you can't get hit. Now, he had one run where it wouldn't have mattered if he could get hit or not. But really, what has Max Johnson done as a dual threat quarterback outside of scamper for a few first downs at LSU that makes me believe that he is now an actual dual threat? I'll say this, though. There's a kid that we were recruiting, and Andre Carter, I think, had a little bit better shot according to what I heard. There's this kid for A&M named Anthony Lucas. He was the number one player out of Arizona. That kid, he's slick. That kid is a monster. And he's like their sixth highest rated defensive lineman they got in the cycle. You know, the SEC, if you're obscenely good on the defensive line in the SEC, you can win national championships. Not quite the same way that you could, like in 2003, we won our title because of, Swagoo, Lavallee, Williams, Hill. You need more than that. You do need a vertical passing game. You do need a better secondary because teams are throwing so well. But, I mean, you saw Georgia's front. The Anthony Lucas kid is slick. Slick. What's up, Jason? So look, as far as the quarterback battle, Chris is right on here. Hawkeyes. Well, this is so fun. I love random fan bases that get in our uh, our chat. Beham. We got a lot of Behams in here. Greg's in Beham. Let's go, Greg. I'm telling you. PHL. If I pulled up my map of analytics right now, we have so many Bama Tigers. We do. Jared, who super chatted earlier. Once again, shout out to you, Jared. Granddad Jared. I love it. We have so many Alabama Tigers. Trey. What's good? Trey with the super chat. Did PHL already decide who will take the first snap in the spring game? I think it's going to be Jayden. I do. What's up, Jason? Jason is the king. Once again, the unequivocal king of the Xavier Carter fan club. Any word on how Xavier Carter is in that Jack linebacker role? Wonder how his growth is coming along. It's a good question. It's a really good question. Thank you, Trey, for the super chat. I always got to shout out Trey Creek. Them 999s are flowing, baby. Let's go. Huh? I take any payment. I take Tiger Bucks. What is it? Tiger Cash. I take XRP. I take Bitcoin. I take Ethereum. I don't know a whole lot about the Bitcoin stuff. But if I could take it, I could take it. Great, thank you for the super chat. You get to pick the next question after the Xavier Carter debate, and then we'll get to Trey's question about who I truly think will take the first snap. Any word on Xavier Carter in that Jack linebacker role? Wonder how his growth is coming along. Jason, I've heard he's been fine. That's always a position he was going to play. And what's really interesting about that, Jason, is he went to LSU knowing that he was going to play the defensive end in a 4-3, and then he started playing some off linebacker role. What's very interesting about that Jack linebacker role is it's hard, right? I want everyone right now to think of the Jack linebacker as the tight end, right? It's a weird type of athlete. You have to be fast, but at the same time be very powerful. You have to be able to do multiple roles, fill multiple gaps, process a lot of information. And what's interesting as a Jack linebacker is you're also being coached by different position groups, right? Some days you're doing one-on-one pass rush drills. Some days you're doing 7-on-7 and working on your drops. There's a lot that comes with being the Jack linebacker. The same thing as a tight end. And as you can see, there's not many great tight ends out there. They all go to Georgia for whatever reason. There's not many great Jack linebackers. It's a lot, right? It's not just who can fly off the edge and make plays. So, Jason, I like Xavier Carter in that role. I like him as a potential backup to B.J. Ojulari. And honestly, Jason, he's going to get his opportunity to play. If he hangs around, he's going to get his chance to play. I haven't seen Philip Webb at practice recently. Could be injury, could be something else. I don't know. So Webb is someone that could potentially play that role as well. Xavier Carter's going to get his opportunity. He's got amazing speed, right? The one thing he's not short on is speed and athleticism. He is a little bit more of a slender build, so it's very interesting. So yeah. Let's see. Creek, I love it. So Trey, as far as who takes the first snap in the spring game, oh yeah, my bad, Greg. You're in Montgomery. I think it's going to be Jayden. I do. I think Jayden's going to take the first snap. But I can easily see that being MYLES as well. Living in enemy territory, absolutely. Trey, how you doing? Tell the daughter I said hello. Trey's daughter. Oh yeah, Trey, I do. Trey, let me know if you're still here. Simeon, what's good? I got to shout out Simeon. He is commenting under each and every video that we do. That lets me know that you're watching each and every video. Simeon, I really do appreciate your support. It goes a long freaking way. Okay. So Trey, I want to show your daughter this. I know Trey, your daughter was a big piece, Boog, right? So once again, if you are just joining us, this is the 1-year anniversary of Boog's passing. It's crazy. You guys saw me a year ago just bawling my eyes out. And you guys know I'm a happy person. There's not a whole lot that actually makes me sad. I tend to be positive as much as I possibly can. But so Boog had an episode. She passed away on a Wednesday, and we were doing a Tuesday night live stream, and she like passed out, and we rushed her to the animal hospital. And then we got back, and I was just crying on the live stream. And then the next day, she did leave us. Man, it was a brutal time. It was a brutal time, and I really do. And Creek, you're the biggest dog lover on the channel, obviously. It was brutal. So I just want to say, I remember how much each and every one of you supported me during that time. It was brutal. Like I was, I was in a bad spot, and we'll get back in the LSU stuff, I promise. But people like Creek in particular, God, Creek, you really helped me and Haley so much. I really do appreciate you, in particular, and Trey as well. You guys were in my corner, as dog lovers, right? It was crazy. Z Baby somewhere. She's still getting used to the camera thing. She's just too feisty. But yeah, it was a sad time. But anyway, we'll get back into LSU football. Creek wants to talk about Captain Shreve's Kendrick Law. It is very interesting, right? So, you know, those Bama true freshmen from Louisiana, will they play? I don't know. What's very interesting, though, is like Bama has this Jalen Milroe guy who lit it up. Kid is a beast. But this was a stat that I'll say that for the SEC channel. I was blown away by this one stat about him. So yeah. There you go. Mason says, F dogs. I don't like dogs. I don't like you reminiscing about the thing that you love the most outside of LSU. Well, actually, I did love Boog more than anything on this planet. Sasha went to USC. But Mason talked sports. I was like, no, I'm not going to let you talk about your dear beloved Boog. But yeah, Carrie, you know, to the super chat question from Creek regarding Louisiana guys. Yeah, it did suck to see some Louisiana guys go to it did suck to see some Louisiana guys go to Bama. So be it. Here's my opinion, though. Is this caused a firestorm? I know some of you strongly disagreed with this, and that's fine. If Aaron Anderson wanted to transfer back to LSU, or not back, if he wanted to transfer to LSU, come on back home. Come on back home. I know a lot of you, I would take Kendrick Law if they're good. Once again, they could just be duds. We'll see. I take a chance on them, especially considering if we get 32 slots next year, especially those kids, right? I'm taking them back. They had the opportunity to go play for the greatest coach of all time or go to a school where the offensive coordinator wasn't hired yet. What would you do? Well, you'd probably go to LSU. I'd probably go to LSU because we're all super LSU fans. But would you? Would you? Those kids might have been offered a bag. A bag. I'm taking them back. Taking them back. Now, Elias Ricks, on the other hand, you want to know something that bothers me? I still see this, right? I still see people wishing Elias Ricks well. How? Does not what happened matters? Right? Does that not matter to anyone? I wish Elias Ricks the best of luck in the NFL. I hope he remains healthy. I hope every player goes to make millions of dollars. But no, I don't wish you well at Alabama. Really? Really? What? Now, personally, you could say, hey, I wish you the best of health. I hope you are personally healthy. I hope you are personally happy. Mental health is wealth. Your health is wealth. I don't wish anything nefarious. I don't wish anything evil. That's not what I'm saying. The point still remains the point. You went to our rival, right? You didn't go to Vanderbilt. You didn't go to Stanford. You didn't sit out a year and go straight to the pros. And I'm not saying that someone should go cheap shot Elias Ricks or someone should go spam his comments and say traitor. You shouldn't do any of that. That's childish. But you shouldn't also go out of your way to say, hey, you know what? I hope you are the same All-American player you were at LSU and help our rival beat us to go to the SEC championship. I mean, that's a one school, right? And that, the same goes for pretty much anyone that goes to one of our teams that's on our schedule every year. Dwight McGlothern. Now, I will say this: it's not quite the same as Elias Ricks, but still, I want them to do well. I loved them when they were at LSU, but still. And honestly, that's not saltiness for me at Alabama, right? I feel the same way about Jermaine Burton going to Alabama after beating them in the championship game. dark. Might be some truth in that. John, what's good? So John just joined the PHL T-shirt club, which, by the way, once again, next PHL T-shirt club member gets this holographed prism Jalen Mills card. What's very interesting is cards that have a lower serial number tend to hold more weight. This card is serial number 2 out of 100. It's really cool. So if you join the PHL T-shirt club tonight, we are going straight to you. And speaking of SEC rivals, shout out to Vernon. What? I'm not going to say that. But yeah, obviously LSU's had players go to Auburn as well. Jonathan, what's good? War Eagle. Good to see you too, Vernon. Harry, if you want a shirt, hit me up. The shirts are awesome. There you go. So Vernon, super chats. We'll talk a little bit about Auburn. Vernon, give us the one-on-one. Give us a lowdown on what's actually happening on the plains. It's kind of crazy. Yeah, Jonathan, just shoot me an email. I'll hook you up. And Jonathan, the instructions are at the bottom as well. So Vernon, I want to talk. Let's talk a little bit about Auburn. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. Auburn is the worst team in the SEC West. Type Y for yes. Type N for no. All right, let's update Cliff's question. Dang, John Emery ran away with the poll question here. Heck no. I won't spend too much time on Auburn, but how about I do this for you, Vernon? Big Al said, Big Al. I got to say, Big Al has a bunch of accurate predictions. Now that I think about it, Big Al's actually been pretty right about a lot of stuff. So the treasurer of PHL says, the treasurer of PHL says, look, Auburn is worse. Who did Auburn get in recruiting? Did they actually get any of the 2022 guys I liked? They did get Osbury. SEC West. All right, Vernon, let me ask you this, and I'll move on from Auburn. I want you to be honest about this, Vernon. I will not tell any Auburn fans this. Did you want to keep Brian Harsin? Because of 24/7 news cycle, because Will Smith slaps some dude at the Oscars. What was that guy's name again? They said he was kind of funny. The news cycle moves so quick, right? The story of the week is this Johnny Depp, thing that's going on, and it's a very serious thing. But we tend to forget how insane the Auburn story was. Like, there was drugs, there was infidelity all mixed into one big rumor mill that we still don't know if any of it is true. Jared says, I don't know, but I hope so. I keep thinking, if you guys are on the internet a lot, my favorite clip is what's the rapper's name on the Breakfast Club who goes, I hope so. It's the best. And Charlemagne just goes crazy. I hope so. It's my favorite internet clip of all time. Only if you're on the internet all the time like I am, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Man. I like you know what's funny, Creek? I've been to the Plains twice. I went for the Jarrett Lee comeback. I also went for the Cam Newton game. Man, I remember talking to Patrick Peterson after that game, and he was like, dude, I've never seen anything like that before. Oh, man. Cam was a specimen, boy. But yeah, Auburn, I've never had beef with Auburn fans. Never. I never. We've had chaotic games, right? 07, 18, the end of the Les Miles regime. That game was chaos. So Vernon says he's happy. He kept. Arson. So Derek. Derek's a dog guy. I like it. So once again, I got to shout out Derek. Pull it. Not giving this one out maybe ever. Until I get more Kayshawn autos, I won't be able to give out any. Shout out to Derek. He actually listens to my football card show. If you want to learn more about football cards, I do a football card show every week with my buddy Andy. Fantasy Football Card Quest Network. If you would like a link to that, let me know. Derek hooked me up with that Kayshawn auto. It's got power on it too. I like that. So shout out to you, Derek. It really did make my day. I was having a crappy week. All right, Vernon, I appreciate you, man. I'll be doing some more SEC stuff, general SEC stuff, and I will be hitting you up. Anytime LSU fans can get a little bit of Auburn hatred out of their system, it feels good. Huh? Derek said, sign me up. Man, I'm not gonna lie, though, both times I went to Auburn, I had a blast. Like, I really, really, really enjoyed my time. Doc wanted to fertilize Toomer's Corner. Oh, man. Oh, I think Michael's joining the PHL T-shirt club. I see you, Michael. I'm going to hit you up whenever we're done here, and I'm going to give you everything you need to know, man. There you go. Vernon showed the love back. I got to love it. Auburn's tailgating was fun. Auburn's campus is beautiful. Skipper. Skipper is mad that I did not put the Jay Hill jersey back up. I've kept the Chris Carter jersey up too long. It'll start at 1 and it won't be on the SEC network. It'll be on SEC Network Plus. So you might have to watch the game online. Starkville's not bad either. Dominique was like, it was Chris Rock. Oh, it was Kodak Black. Okay. Huh? I hope so. That's still the funniest thing. It's still the funniest thing. I don't even know what the context of the internet is, of the clip. It's so good. Normal guy, good to see you. Harvey Updike. I'll let you know how big of a story that was. You know, you want to know. I got to go to Athens, Chris. You and I will go next time LSU plays there. The 20-13, the Charles Scott game, and then the 44-41. Siren Black had such a nasty block to win that game for us. But the 44-41, that game was so good, Chris. The Met versus Aaron Murray. Met in Athens going up against his old team. You want to know who the happiest person in the world was when Harvey Updike poisoned those trees? Was the guy who teabagged the LSU fan in the Crystal Burger after the championship game. So that guy is no longer the Bama fan that everyone points at. And look, obviously, sexually assaulting somebody is worse than poisoning a tree. Both are bad. But, you know, Harvey Updike, you know, made it so much worse because he called in on the Feinbaum show. That is the craziest thing, confessing on the biggest radio show in the South, in the SEC. So, yeah, Harvey Updike poisoning the trees and calling in the Feinbaum. But the teabagging thing is still so insane. It is still so insane that happened. The SEC, you can't make this stuff up. You just can't. It's pure comedy. It's stuff that you can't even. It's mind blowing. Mind blowing. But yeah, so LSU played Bama and we got our butts kicked, and there was an LSU fan passed out at the Crystal Burger on Bourbon. So everyone's, if you've been to Bourbon, you know it's one of the most popular ways to walk into Bourbon, right? Off a canal, you turn on Bourbon, there's a Crystal Burger. And there's an LSU fan just passed out, and an Alabama fan legit just did that, which is obviously a really, really evil thing to do to another human being. It's insane. This conference, it's I no pun intended, but pun intended. This conference is nuts. Speaking of jewels, Pressy Collection, PressyCollection.com is where you get the best jewels on the planet. Make sure you check it out. Like actual real jewels that'll make your significant other feel better about their lives. Okay. Oh, you're in the doghouse with the significant other? You know where to go. Pressy Collection, PressyCollection.com. You know about the diamond price match guarantee that Pressy Collection has going on? Well, I can tell you this. I've seen it with my own two eyes. Check it out. Diamond pendants, necklaces, rings, PressyCollection.com. And who can forget, Pressy Collection was a big reason. Well, he was the reason that one of the best LSU players going into next year. Who could forget our pretty awesome interview with Jack Besh? Okay. It was because of our friends at PressyCollection.com. So shout out to them. Oh, yeah, this conversation with Jack Besh. Really good stuff. I love me some Jack Besh. Gotten to speak to him a few times since our conversation. It was a lot of fun. Jack is a great guy, and he is super excited. And there is something in the water. I appreciate you, Adam, with the very generous super chat. Throw some clap emojis down for Adam, who is a member of the PHL T-shirt club. Looking forward to get some clarity on the quarterback and running back battles Saturday. Give me some clap emojis for Adam dropping a 50 burger. I need it, man. That's like one train ticket in England. He was like, let's go to England and lose all our money. I'm just kidding. What's up, Graylin? Love it. It's some serious stupidity. It really can. Graylin said he had to wash his hands after that comment. I love it. Hey, if Dallas Turner wants to come to LSU, I'll sign him to an NIL deal. That'd be a nice pickup. But yeah, last thing on that. It's not just Alabama fans. When I went to Gainesville, there was so much stuff that happened. I had frozen corn dogs thrown at me. It was crazy. So for me, Adam, I am glad you said, I hope your Easter Sunday was great. It was. I got to go have a wonderful lunch with my parents. It's rare as you get older, you don't have as many like sit down lunches and dinners with your parents. You got to seize those opportunities, right? I had so much fun with them. I get to spend some time with my dad this weekend. My dad celebrating a birthday tomorrow as well. And Adam, I'm really glad you brought this up as well. I haven't done a good job of this. I want to shout out all the super dads of PHL. Jared just became a granddad. Good stuff for you. But shout out to all the super dads of PHL. You super dads and super moms, you are the single most important thing in our society, right? You see what happens. A present dad it changes everything. It really does. So shout out to all the super dads, PHL. Shout out to Van. Van had a really good tweet today that kind of resonated with me. Shout out to you, Van. Thank you for your super chat as always, my friend. Look, as far as clarity, Adam, the quarterback and running back battle, and ironically, I kind of did what Van's tweet was talking about how, don't waste anybody's time. Don't waste anybody's time. I love that. That resonated with me. That made me get on top of my stuff today. $20 says you'll be an analyst for LSU in the next couple of years. Are you saying like $20 as in, well, first off, it wasn't 20, it was $5 to be technical. Are you saying like $20 that I'm going to be an analyst for like the SEC network or another major media organization? Or are you saying like I'm going to be an analyst like Brian Kelly's going to come give me a dream job, which is, work for a college football team, which would be really cool. And obviously, if I ever got a job at LSU, I would cry, right? If I ever got that opportunity. So yeah, my phone's open for either opportunities. And Corey, I really appreciate you showing love. You showed me a lot of love for my analysis. All right, Van, you get to pick the next topic. Feel free to pick whatever you want to chat about. Just to catch everyone up that just joined us late, let's bring this back up again as far as the spring game format. There you go. So once again, it will not be offense. Well, it won't be purple and white. It'll be offense versus defense. 4 15-minute quarters. Second half will be a running clock. And as you can see, the scoring system for defense, there's like different scores for each thing a defense could potentially do. The only way the offense can score is, well, putting points on the board. So the defense has it a lot easier. And it's a lot easier to score on defense because you don't have to actually tackle people. I hope Brian Kelly actually allows tackling. I haven't been able to listen to his press conference. Obviously not the quarterbacks, but just in general. Okay. So the running back room, I'm not going to lie. Trey Bradford has grown on me. It's the raw athleticism. It's the lack of wear on the tires. Yes, Trey Bradford has somewhat injury, like a little bit of an injury history. Obviously, last year was really banged up. But was Trey Bradford not playing last year because of injury, or was it more so because of his very weird situation going from where he was at Oklahoma to where he is now? I think it has more to do with that, Van. I'm growing. What's up, Paris? What's up, Aaron? Good to see you. Van, I'm growing on Trey Bradford. I'm going to be honest with you. And to go along with Adam's super chat, Adam's talking about the clarity in the running back room. I'm going to be honest with you. Someone super chatted about Noah Cain. I won't go too deep on Noah Cain right in that pause. I won't talk about Noah Cain too much because we did earlier in the live stream. Home run hitting ability is a trait that Frank Wilson likes out of his running backs. If I give you a hole to run through, can you house it? Right? And Frank's running backs at LSU all had home run ability. Jeremy Hill had home run ability. Geis did, and Fournette did. Now you have to be really special to hit home runs. But out of the running backs that I've seen up to this point, Armani Goodwin has the most home run hitting ability just based on what I saw in high school. He runs a sub 11 100 meter, but he also, just based on the limited carries we've seen, he goes down a little easy. Some of that has to do with health, and some of that has to do with really bad blocking. I hope Goodwin can get back to health. I really do. But he's already had a long touchdown run in practice. Trey Bradford's had some moments in practice. So we'll see. I think, Noah Cain, his injury as a sophomore is brutal. Was really brutal. So Van, I'm a Trey Bradford believer. He is slowly growing on me. Some of that is, the fear of the unknown, right? We know a little bit more about John Emery. We know a little bit more about Noah Cain because their sample is bigger. Trey Bradford doesn't have a big sample, right? His first year as a true freshman, 2020, it was a Rona. He played at the end of the year versus Ole Miss, and he had horrible run blocking and was still able to have a decent game. And the Florida game was a disaster catching the football out of the backfield, but he did end up catching a touchdown in that game. And the second thing is, last year, how is he going to play? Number one, there was so much going on in that running back room, right? You had an academic issue. You had this TDP versus Corey Kiner thing going on. You had horrible run blocking assignments. You had, obviously, the head coach putting together the worst game plans you'll ever see. Then the tragedy that happened to Kev Falk, which caused the team to lose their running back coach during the middle of the season. and I hated that happened to Kev, but it was such a crazy year last year. So Trey Bradford had a Rona year, transferred to Oklahoma, transferred back to LSU. It was now he's where his feet are grounded. He can't transfer anywhere else. So he knows that he's got to make it work at LSU. So the thing is can Bradford catch a football out of the backfield? We'll see. The Florida game was very shaky catching that football. So we'll see. We tried to make him the third down back, and it's tough. So hopefully that answered your question, Van and Adam, about the running back room as far as the quarterback clarity. I still think Jayden Daniels will be taking the first snap at the spring game. Wait, Paris is in here? Uh-oh. Paris is here? Aaron, let's go. Welcome to the channel, LA Mom. I didn't get a chance to listen to the press conference. I do think that they're going to let him tackle. Like, actually bring the running backs to the ground outside of the, don't hit the quarterbacks. Oh, we got the Irish troll in here again. All right, so here's the thing about being a Notre Dame fan, and I won't spend too much time on this because we've had a few Notre Dame fans jumping in and out of here. Why are you so fascinated with us? Why? Move on. You got the young hotshot coach. You do. You had this 2023 recruiting class. But what's really crazy about Jay Chillen's avatar, it is of none other than Dante Moore. Okay? So Jay Chillen's avatar is of a quarterback who has not yet even played a down of college football. In fact, he's not even played his high school season. But to make matters worse is Jay Chillen's avatar is of a quarterback who said no to Notre Dame this weekend. In fact, this quarterback is deciding to visit. Wait, could someone in the chat, I just want someone in the chat to tell me where Dante Moore is visiting this weekend. It's slipping my mind where this 5-star quarterback is visiting this weekend. I might even have to Google this. Let me see. Dante Moore visit this weekend. I'm trying to figure out where Dante Moore's visiting. Oh, yes. He's visiting LSU. Now, it wouldn't be me posting a picture of a quarterback visiting the school that is in my avatar. Would it? What do you say about that, Jay Chillen? Notre Dame's a fine institution. Notre Dame's a fine institution. But it's amazing. Like, Brady Quinn starts one NIL initiative, and Notre Dame fans are like, oh, my God, watch out, Bama. We're coming. I can see that, Adam. I can. Miles' vertical passing ability. I'll say this. it's not as if Miles's arm is way better than the other quarterbacks. It's that Miles can get the football down the field better than the other quarterbacks, right? It's his best skill set is chunking that football. Now, it is interesting that he's hit some deep balls, but they've also been slight underthrows, but still. Who doesn't pull a Terrace Marshall? What did Terrace Marshall do? What is a Terrace Marshall? Aaron, I appreciate the super chat. I appreciate you. SMC, what's good, man? Are you calling us bums now? Not gonna let people call us bums. Who's gonna opt out? I don't think Kayshawn. I don't think Kayshawn's gonna opt out. I really don't think so. I don't. I'll tell you this though, Creek. You got to win that first game. You got to win that first game. If you win that first game, it changes a lot, right? Let's just say we lose this first game. This will be the third straight year Kayshawn's lost the opener. And don't you think he has seen what's happened behind the scenes when LSU's lost the opener? He's accustomed to coaches not making any adjustments after losing games. Got to beat Florida State. Tell him, Paris. Tell him. Tell him, Dev. I like that. Dev said no field goal kicking for LSU and Florida State misses an extra point. Winning the battle on special teams. I like that. Tell Coach Foley in that. Something else that I think is going to be very interesting. We haven't talked a whole lot about Nathan Dilbert, a true freshman potential kicker next year. Very interesting. God, this live stream has been so good. You know, sometimes when I start these, like today, today's been a rough day. Whoa. Huh? I didn't know Memphis came back and won this game. That's crazy. But they're had a rough day today. You know, it was Boog 1 year anniversary, right? And for me, you know, it was tough. But when I started this live stream, I was like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. I was telling Haley, and I was in a good mood because she made tacos, and you guys know when I get tacos, I'm happy. I was like, I was like, hey, I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this. And I was like, what would Boog want? And we got through this thing. Every time Dev's in here, I get excited. I do agree with this as well. I do agree with this. Here's the thing. The quarterback under the most pressure for the spring game is Miles. There's no doubt about it. It's not even actually remotely close. Walker Howard is under zero pressure. Gary Nussmeier kind of sort of as well. I don't think Jayden Daniels is under that much pressure. I really don't. I think he's in a little bit better of a situation than we would like to think. He still has 2 years of eligibility left, right? And he's going to have a few runs that people are going to be like, okay, he could be a piece of our offense. Miles is under a lot of pressure, right? Because if he goes out there and toss picks, every LSU fan is going to be like, God, relying on Miles again. Appreciate you, Tracy. You and Tommy. Gotta love it. All dogs go to heaven. You know it. Wait, why is Dilbert a bad name for a kicker? Dogs just know, Doc. They just do. I don't know how. They just do. Huh? 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 Hey, that's fine. I would lean towards Jayden right now as well. But you know, eh, if you're in the prognostication business, you're going to lean one way or the other. And part of what a lot of people put into their projections is, will you be there to start the season? Okay. Jayden's been perfectly healthy. Can't say the same about Miles. It's part of the evaluation. Your availability. Hope he does, Corey. I hope he proves a lot of doubters wrong. I don't see though how you can't have just an ounce of skepticism. So, it's different. Jane Jaden's completed 3 years as a starter at a Power 5 school. I mean, was he great last year? Not really. But that was chaos. Arizona State was us, but in the Pac-12, right? And we've gone over this a few times. The 2 games that they lost versus really good teams, it was not on Jayden. In fact, he played fine. Utah, he played excellent, and they lost. His first year when he had elite receivers, he put up really, really good numbers. So, yeah, I mean, Daniels, I don't know many quarterbacks that have started 3 years. Doc's a Nuss guy. A lot of Nuss guys in this chat. Michael's getting ready to cook some tacos at 9:48 Central. I agree with this. To a certain degree, yeah. So there we go. So we are reaching the 2-hour par 2-hour mark of today's video. Hope you guys are all sit back, enjoying yourself, enjoying a fine evening of LSU football chatter. So here's what we'll do. Over the next 5 minutes, I'll answer as many LSU related questions. We also tend to dive into different topics. You guys and gals are sports fans of a lot of different things. I am too. I have interest in everything. So if you have any questions about anything, feel free to hit me up. I'll answer anything and everything. Okay? This is true. So sometimes you can't just go by like passing numbers. So I'm affiliated with Underdog Fantasy, and there's a really good writer for them by the name of Hayden Wings, and he does really good draft breakdowns and fantasy football stuff. And what he did was he did an analytical breakdown of all the prospects just based on advanced statistics. And he threw out all the film, everything that you knew about a prospect. And a lot of people do that. And a lot of my data, I do look at analytics. I'm not smart enough to know all of it, but I do look at a lot of data, right? You guys know last offseason, and I took heat for this, that, I posted a lot of stats about how bad Ed Orgeron was as a coach in 2020. And, it was fine. And sometimes you're right about stuff, sometimes you're wrong. And going into 2021, I felt, I'm optimistic, LSU fan in me, but there was a lot about Ed Orgeron's coaching style that was tough to see. However, you also have to factor in film. I'm not one of those guys that's just going to bypass actually watching the games. And if you look at MYLES Brennan's touchdown passes, they were very good. A lot of the balls were perfectly in stride, but also it helped that Terrace Marshall was the absolute best receiver in college football, better than the guy that actually won the Heisman in the first 3 weeks of the year. Okay. So you go back and you look at the Vanderbilt game, and Miles' first throw for a touchdown versus Vanderbilt should have gotten Terrace Marshall killed. But Marshall made an adjustment midair and caught the football for a touchdown because Miles stared down the safety. And that wasn't good quarterbacking. But then again, it was in the red zone, second start, whatever. And look, Kayshawn's a very special receiver, and Kayshawn makes a lot of quarterbacks look good. We see what that did for Max over the past couple of seasons. So your weapons are part of who you are as a quarterback. That's not the point I'm making. The point is, Doc is right about this, that a lot of Miles's touchdown throws weren't look one way, throw the other. It wasn't scramble around, make your own play out of nowhere. He did make a lot of throws, but the Mississippi State game, yes, he put up a lot of numbers. The film wasn't that great. The good thing about the Vanderbilt film, though, in the second game was there was specific things that he did in the Vanderbilt game that was better than what he did versus Mississippi State, such as stepping up in the pocket, not underthrowing receivers, and so on and so on. And then the Missouri game was a really great performance. The 0 for 10 for third down, a lot of that was protection. Some of that was some unfortunate pass protection issues. It still wasn't great. So the Missouri game was still prolific, though, over 400 yards. And a 2-minute drive that almost won us a game. He was really good. He was unbelievable, honestly. So yeah, the thing about it though is we are evaluating a 3-game sample at the beginning of 2020, which is still crazy to me. It's tough. It's really tough. So, I am going to be really fascinated to see the spring game. I thought Miles' spring game last year was fine as well. I agree with this skipper, especially now because the NCC is so deep. But you also, like, for instance, that is true, but also Power 5 starting quarterback experience is something that is rare. It is so rare to have a year of starters experience in the Power 5. It's rare. A lot of guys only get 1 year to start. Jayden Daniels got to start 3. 2.5 if you include the 4-year 2020 Rona season. So, yeah, I mean, that's really good. Now, are there going to be some beast defenses? Yeah, Bama's defense is going to be great. But yeah, I mean, that starters experience goes a long way. My situation is so much like Max last year. We only remember the good stuff, but not the context of those games. That's true as well. I go back to what I said earlier in the season, earlier in the stream. Miles has 2 more touchdown passes if one person on the offensive line does slightly better. But we'll see. Also, we can't, this is true. UCLA, who wasn't that good, they lost to Fresno the next week. They beat us by double digits, so we probably shouldn't be talking that Pac-12 ish. But then again, we also ran man coverage on every snap, and Max missed Trey Palmer on a wide open 60 gazillion yard touchdown. True and false on this, Michael. Honestly, true and false. I think it's probably more true than it is false. But at the same time, an offense full of dudes. So, for instance, like Lane Kiffin's a better play caller than Bill O'Brien, but Bill O'Brien had dudes, and Lane had some dudes, but not dudes everywhere. So, yeah. All right, guys. I appreciate all the love. I do not believe we'll drop a video tomorrow. I don't think we're going to do a video tomorrow. Just be ready for the spring game. So for the actual spring game, we'll do it just like how we normally do our live streams. We will have a post game spring game live stream. I don't know if we're going to do a halftime. I might do a pre-game one. So be on the lookout for that. I haven't decided just yet because I was still waiting to see what the format was actually going to be. So, I kind of don't want to do a halftime one because there's a running clock in the second half. So we might do a pregame and a postgame live stream on Saturday. So be on the lookout for that for the LSU spring game. Now, I do want to show you this. Boom. If you haven't already, please go subscribe to my Substack. All right. It is my newsletter. I post about once a week. I'm going to be posting more on there. Go subscribe to that. I have a bunch of really good content that you can check out as well. Hope everyone feels better. Our top super chatter tonight was Adam. Also, shout out to Greg. Shout out to Jared. Also, Van, everybody. Prayers out to Doc. We're behind you, man. You got this. And we will see you on Saturday. I think the spring game is free, if I'm not mistaken. I think it's free. Either way, we will see you on Saturday. It is Power Hour LSU. Boom! Oh, yeah, tacos tonight. Let's go.